right, we're live. Usually
We're
I
all
just
right.
check my feed to make sure it's there. Let me just refresh it. Yep, we're there. So how are you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing just fine, Melissa. Very nice to see you once
You
again.
too.
Sorry that
Yeah.
it's not in person.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. But I just want to introduce everyone. Today we have David Permenter with N2 Publishing. He is a publisher of two magazines,
Mhm.
Between the Greens and BeLocal. And Dave, would you like to share with us a little bit more about how you started the publishing business?
Yeah, sure. I'm an old textile guy. I'm a rag man, as we say in the trade, but I was in that for 31 years and a lot of travel involved. So to get away from that and settle down a bit, my wife found this business. Into Publishing is a franchise out of Wilmington, North Carolina. And we bought our first franchise about 3 years ago. And what we do on that first franchise is we publish a magazine for the residents of World Golf Village, where we coincidentally live. We live in Keenan Bear. So this publication is written by the residents of the community for the residents of the community, and it's all about their families, kids, pets, neighborhood events, things like that. Um, it is free to the residents. It goes to roughly 1,200 homes in World Golf Village, all at $300,000 and up, and for the advertising demographic. And beyond the print magazine itself, there's a digital element, a social media element, and we also organize about 25 social events each year. Those events are designed so that our advertisers have the opportunity to connect personally with our residents, those to whom they're advertising, because when people meet, everything changes. You know, it's a whole new dynamic. There's actually a relationship, there's trust, which word of mouth can begin to flow from that. Without trust, no word of mouth, or at least no positive word of mouth. So really
Right.
the program is designed to facilitate word of mouth for our advertisers in the community. And that's the first of our two programs. And that's the name of the magazine is Between the Greens. That's because we're between two golf courses. My wife hates the name. She says it sounds like it's between the spinach and the broccoli.
That's
That's
funny.
Between the Greens.
Yeah, I had an experience when you're saying like the networking and how it all comes together because we did that virtual networking. We had one last week and I met I don't remember her last name, but Diane, and she was on the cover of one of your magazines
That would have
and
been
she
Diane Tortolo.
Turtlo, yes.
Yeah.
And um somehow you came up and she was like, "Yeah, Dave's great." And I'm like, "Yeah, Dave's great." And I'm like, "He's great for networking and connections." And then she holds up the magazine
Yeah.
and she's like, "Look, we're on the cover." And I'm like, "That's amazing." So like that word of mouth is definitely traveling and the connections are happening because I'm even seeing it now that I'm getting myself out there more, and it's just really interesting.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's nice to hear. Yeah. The Tortolo family, Diana, Richard, and their three beautiful boys, young boys, moved here last April and into Keenan Bear, where we live as well. So they received the magazine, and she immediately reached out to me on an email, said, "Love the magazine. How about a coffee? We're new in the neighborhood, don't know anybody." And honestly, Melissa, I get emails and calls like that pretty much every week. I get a lot of emails every week from the residents, but nearly, a couple times a month, 2, 3 times a month, I'll get one from a new person who has moved in, and they see that, wow, through this magazine, I can really meet my neighbors and get more connected in the community. So it's really a wonderful thing. It's very rewarding personally for me.
And I've also, since getting to know you better, I like the fact that it's not just a magazine. You're not just selling them an ad. Like what I've learned is like, I mean, your connections go above and beyond that magazine to help them connect with other businesses, connect with the community, to have events, just a whole bunch of things. Anything you can think of, you're there offering them that support to get out there further. And that's what I think is like amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
your kind words. I'm also an ambassador with the St. Johns County Chamber, and to your viewers right now, if you're not a member of the chamber and you do business in St. Johns County, look into it or reach out to me personally as an ambassador. Let me. Are you a member or you're not a member?
No, I was literally gonna join right when this happened, and then I had myself set up to go to a meeting that meeting happened to be you didn't have to pay. I don't remember. It was like a woman's one, and I wanted to go. I wanted to check it out, and I absolutely was gonna sign up. And then all this happened. All the events got canceled, all the meetings, and I thought, well, I can't go interact now, so now I'm going to wait until it all comes back. But I'm definitely signing as soon as we can start attending things and meeting people. And I've heard so many great things about the connections you can make through that network, and I'm all about that.
Yeah, I can say the St. Johns County Chamber it's like a family. I've never been a member of another chamber, so I have nothing to compare it to. But I hear, as great as the Jacksonville Chamber may be, it's huge. It's a beast. And one thing that I just love so much about the St. John's Chamber is it's like a family. I mean, well, I'll just leave it at that. It's awesome. So for the viewers out there, if you're not a member and you're doing business in St. Johns County, reach out to me personally as an ambassador. I'm happy to help share some information about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about your other magazine, the newer one, the BeLocal?
Yeah, we're so excited about that. As I said, our business is a franchise into publishing, and so we have a tremendous amount of support behind us. I would never attempt this on my own. Like I said, I'm a rag man, not a publisher. But with the support and the systems and the product and everything else from Into Publishing, I'm able to do this. So I'm really grateful to Into. But BeLocal is there. We have about 10 different publications. Our Between the Greens is part of what's called our HOA division, these community magazines. But we have a number of other magazines and products, one of which, the newest of which, is called BeLocal. Ours is called BeLocal St. Augustine. It is a magazine and a platform that is designed to reach new movers into Northwest St. Johns County. And it reaches them in a number of ways before, during, and after their move. Savvy marketers know that right now, new mover marketing is just one of the absolute hottest trends in marketing. If you can imagine a new mover moving into a new area, they're actively looking for everything. Who's
Right.
going to do my hair and my nails? I need a veterinarian for Fido. Billy needs an orthodontist. Who's going to do my lawn? Where am I going to change my oil? What are the best restaurants around here? Just, it goes on and on and on and on. They need everything. They don't yet have loyalties to other businesses from which they must be lured away.
Right.
So it's just a perfect time for a business to reach these people. And we do it in three ways. We reach them before their move by working with local real estate firms who purchase from us in bulk customized copies of the magazine. They spread these magazines around to their agents, who then give them as gifts to prospects looking at homes in the area, as a gift to say, here, this will help you become acquainted with the area. And I'll tell you more about the product itself in a minute. But and then, so they receive it before the move. And then within 20 days of moving in, they receive a copy in their mailbox. We capture the deed transfers from the county each month, the day before we go to print. So we know how many to print and where to send them. And then for the next 6 months, because research has showed us that is the amount of time on average that new movers spend getting all of their businesses, vendors, relationships intact as they make their house a home and just get established in their new area. So for the next 6 months, we push digital flip books of the magazine to their social media feeds, both Instagram and Facebook. And all of those ads, of course, are hyperlinked to the advertisers' websites and landing pages. There's an interactive digital map and some other goodies in there. So that's how we reach them before, during, and after the move. And the publication itself, which I'm pleased to say Diana Tortolo is also a contributor. She wrote a fantastic article about raising children in St. Augustine. It's lovely. But anyway, the magazine itself is totally written by residents of Northwest St. Johns County. And it's full of stories that are extremely relevant for new movers coming in. There's as an example, history of St. Augustine, raising kids in St. Augustine or St. Johns County. There's a short article for golfers. There's another one for youth sports activities and things like that. So they're all hyper relevant to that demographic. And the book is also full of recommendations of what we consider, or what residents of the area consider, the best of the best businesses for these new movers to know about. My wife, Clara, spent roughly 5 months just collecting recommendations from the community, Northwest St. Johns County, in these different categories like golfing, restaurants, places of worship, blah, blah, blah. So the book is full, chock full of authentic, there's no pay to play, authentic recommendations of great businesses. These new movers don't have anyone yet to ask for recommendations. Last point, Melissa, real quick. 2 statistics that are pretty interesting about new movers. They spend more on their homes in the first 6 months than they do in the next 3 years. So they are in the buying mode. And secondly, new movers are 10 times more likely to act on the first recommendation that they receive, as would be, say, an established resident. So to be among the first to reach them while they're actively looking and spending the money is priceless. But we charge a little bit for it.
So I did hear you say it's not pay to play, which means they can't come to you and say, I want to be in the magazine. You're researching and then you go to the businesses and say, okay.
Well, the only way for a business to selectively choose or proactively say, I want to be in your magazine, is by advertising in the magazine. But the actual recommendations in the magazine are authentic, and those are sent to us by residents of the community who, they have a favorite restaurant that they love and they want to share it,
Right.
They want to give word of mouth.
Okay, so but businesses can advertise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now do they have to be in Northwest St. John's?
We have businesses advertising from currently as far away as Savannah down to, say, Bunnell right now. So any business, regardless of where they're located, any business that wants to reach that demographic, either the residents of World Golf Village or new movers into the area, we'd love to talk to them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So if any businesses, come across this and you're interested, definitely reach out to Dave on these. I've just heard nothing but great things. And like I said, it's not just your ad in this magazine. Like your connection with Dave is probably bigger than anything. And so I definitely recommend that. But so tell me, like, what's your favorite thing about being an owner of these magazines or publishing these magazines, and just kind of like how it's grown from the beginning to now? Like what's just been your, like just fun about it, or what do you enjoy so much?
Well, my passion, number one, I love business. Any way you look at it. I come from an entrepreneurial family. I've had an entrepreneurial life around the world. And so I love business. So I'm in my element. But beyond that, I'm able to help people. And it is hugely rewarding when I get those emails every day saying, thank you so much for this, or here's a story about my son. Can you get the word out for us? Help us. Being able to help businesses grow is exciting. And above all, I just get to meet so many wonderful, wonderful people. And I've just developed so many friendships, real friendships through this business. And yeah, it's just, I'm passionate about it. What can I say?
Yeah, no, it comes through. It definitely shows, and that's awesome. So, is there any long-term dream or vision that you see that you maybe haven't reached that yet?
No, you took me off guard with that one, Melissa. Um, well, I left my 31-year career in the textile industry, most of which I spent living in Europe and working in Africa and Asia. And so leaving that behind to do this was really my way of settling down with my wife. We knew we were soon to be empty nesters, and it was just time to put all the travel and things behind.
Hmm.
So for the future, I say this is it for me. This is my last gallop. I got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see doing anything beyond um, what I'm doing now. I don't ever see letting go of this or walking away from it. Or I'll probably take my dying breath editing a neighbor's article.
Do you have any advice for someone? Well, so you're like in the chamber, so you've met people who maybe have just started their business, or are wondering how they market, how they get the word out about their product or service. Probably, what's your biggest piece of advice to
Yeah.
like people who are just starting, or maybe they're not just starting, but they're looking for additional ways to get the word out?
Well, I would say number one, have a plan. Have a strategic marketing plan. That's a framework within which they can make smart decisions rather than willy nilly, disconnected decisions. So, my biggest advice in that regard would be to have a strategic plan and then look at all of the options available. That means print, digital, TV, radio, signage. There are so many ways. Networking. I built my business on networking. So there are so many ways, and they all work. They all work. Anybody who thinks print is dead or radio's dead, it's not. It all comes down really to the messaging. Messaging is critical. How to get your message across succinctly, clearly. And into publishing, we help businesses reach their ideal clients or customers. That's what we do. That is our message. We help businesses reach their ideal customers, and I can say that over and over and over again with absolute conviction. We're good at it. But to answer your question, have a plan, a strategic plan within which to make your advertising decisions.
Do you have any regrets so far, since like anything you've done that you've learned from or regret?
Yeah, that I didn't do it sooner.
I like that one.
Honestly, that's my only regret, was that I didn't make this move sooner, and that's it.
That's awesome.
Other than that, no regrets whatsoever. Intu is an amazing, amazing company where we have about 900 publications
Wow.
across the country. There are about 700 franchisees that have those 900 and some odd franchises. I have two as an example. We are looking for some more people in the Nassau, Duval, St. Johns County area. I'm on a team with two other franchisees. We have who have a publication like what I do in World Golf Village. We have one in Amelia Island Plantation. We have another one in Queens Harbor. The BeLocal publication that I do here, we have one in the Fernandina Wildlight Yulee area. We have another one opening up in Nocatee, Ponte Vedra Beach. So between us three franchisees in Nassau, Duval, and St. Johns County, we offer a huge opportunity for businesses to get a great deal of hyper-targeted coverage. Yeah.
No, that's great. And
Yep.
then tell us a little bit more about the monthly networking that you do up at the Renaissance.
Of the 25 or so social events we do each year, in World Golf Village, we have a lot, obviously, a lot of business owners. So I thought, what can I do for them specifically? So about a year and a half ago, we started Village B2B. And that's a business to business networking event, not a group, but an event. It's held the second Wednesday of each month
Mm-hmm.
from 6 to 8 p.m. So it's an evening event at Renaissance Resort in World Golf Village. That's a Marriott facility. It's a beautiful venue for our event. And we're generally 65 to 80 people in
Mm-hmm.
attendance. There's no cost. Actually, we have an open bar and fantastic food. It's all complimentary. We have sponsors for that. And one of which is Nissan of St. Augustine. Thank you, Will. Yeah. And so that we have a guest speaker who talks for about 10 minutes. The rest of the time from 6 to 8 p.m. is just open networking, and a great deal of business gets passed in that event, and networking works much like advertising. Frequency is everything. If you show up once an event, you might get a connection, a lead, whatever, but the real power is in showing up all the time and becoming a part of that community. That is what really instigates, the word of mouth and referrals and everything else. So the second Wednesday of each month, Village B2B, we have a Facebook, Village B2B, and we invite local business owners. There's no cost. Please reach out to me if you're interested to come. Love to have you. I'll put you on the invite list so that each month you'll get a reminder and a notification letting you know who the guest speaker will be. We have great guest speakers. Right now, because of the coronavirus, for the month of, we're in April, so for the month of May, we'll be doing it virtually. That will be our first attempt at virtual. But anyway, if you're interested in learning more or becoming a part of it, just reach out to me. And I would like to plug one other event that I go to every week. It's called Durban Connect. And we are a group, not an event, but a group. We meet weekly, every Thursday morning from 7:30 to 8:30 at the St. John's Golf and Country Club Amenity Center. Right now, we're about 30 people. We started off a little less than a year ago. There were 5 of us at the first meeting, and now we have 30 actual members plus visitors who come and go. It's called Durban Connect. You can go to durbanconnect.com to learn more, but I would like to invite all of your viewers to join us this Thursday at 7:30. If you go to durbanconnect.com, there is a link to the Zoom call on which we host the event. It's awesome, and we'd love to have you there.
You have your hands in everything, Dave.
We got 2. I got 10 fingers.
I'm the same way, though. I'm like,
I know. I see you everywhere, and why don't you speak for a moment about the fact that you and I are entering into some new collaboration, still figuring it out, but can you share some thoughts?
Yeah, I have it like on top of my list of still getting it together, writing it out, and exactly what that is. But I definitely think we need to be partners, and we want to invite you for sure to all our events and sponsor, and we want to be involved on any level that we can help with the 20 events that you do a year. If it's specifically for a business that you're trying to promote and help, we want to spread that word across our marketing, our social media, our newsletter to help them. And we definitely want to get on board with helping business. Our mission has always been connecting business to community, and that's across various medias, whether it's social media, in person, through email, connections. We're just like you. We like to see small businesses succeed. We like to grow our connections. And just, I think I told you, Dave, like this year for me, 2020 has been the year of getting out from behind the computer, behind the scenes, and growing my personal connections. And it's been great. I hit the challenge of the corona, and I'm virtual now. So I've still continued on my goal. I haven't let that stop me. And it's just, fun being an entrepreneur and a business owner when you love it, because you look at obstacles and think, what can I do to overcome this or grow from it? And I think that we're seeing that, and I think that's awesome. I see a lot of people now doing that kind of thing.
Well, your events are awesome, and I just love the event you held recently at the Luna Cafe. I'm sorry that we aren't able to meet live on that monthly event, but I know that will resume soon. And that was an awesome event. I think your first one had over 30 people for the very first inaugural event. So that was really awesome. You do about 25 events a year. I think I do about 25 a year. By us joining forces, we can offer such an awesome and powerful platform to businesses out there to get involved with. So I'm grateful for your willingness and invitation for me to work with you. And
Yeah,
thank you
definitely.
so much. And thank you for today as well.
Oh, you're welcome. And probably when we get off this call, I'm going to reach out, because I know when we met in person and we talked about partnering, we talked about physical event where maybe we do some kind of training or bringing people together. But I think that we should talk about doing something like that, and we just do it virtual.
Yeah,
So maybe we talk about what that could look like, and maybe how we could put that together and get that out there, since people need trainings and different things like that.
absolutely. Sounds good to me.
All right.
For people to reach me, if I can shamelessly plug my phone number
Of
and
course.
things like that. Okay. My phone number, my cell phone, is 904 808 5301. And I would like to direct people to our BeLocal Facebook. It's just called BeLocal St. Augustine. We have a few Facebooks and Instagrams out there, but I'll just plug that one as an easy way to reach me also. BeLocal St. Augustine on Facebook.
And then after, Dave, if you want to send me everything that you want me to update the description of this live on Facebook, I can copy it and put it in the description. So anybody who watches this will have access to that description and all the
Okay.
contact information. And then we also download and put this on YouTube and then our business directory.
Okay. Sounds awesome.
Oh,
Thank you
yeah.
so much, Melissa.
You're
You're
welcome.
awesome. You rock.
All right, we'll talk after.
Okay.
Bye.
To all your viewers, thank you very much for listening. Take
Thank
care.
you, everyone. Till next time.